What's up, AfterBuzzers? Shawniece is ready to pop. Danielle's still a little bit of controlling, and Anthony is gonna twerk. Let's discuss on Married at First Sight. Happily ever after?
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Woo! You're to blame. You can love a bad name. What's up, AfterBuzzers? I'm so excited to be here for Married at First Sight, Happily Ever After episode 4. Shout out to Just Me Madison for inspiring me tonight to play the song at the beginning, because we always change it up. We like to switch it up, and it's a shout out to you for tuning in live. We love the commentary from the live chat. Keep it going. I'm Ollie Drennan. I'm solo dolo tonight, but that's okay. It's holidays. Happy holidays. I don't know if you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, but if you do, that's great. If you don't, that's great as well. So you guys are my co-hosts if you're tuning in live. And if you're not tuning in live, leave us a comment, like us, subscribe. That's very important to do. We love you guys. So let's get right to it. We have episode 4, Change for the Better. We're going to talk about Ashley and Anthony, obviously. We're going to talk about Daniel and Bobby. And of course, Shawniece and Jeffy. And then we got a little bit of news and gossip for you guys who are fans of the show, because the next season is right around the corner, literally. So let's get right to it. Our first topic of the day, our favorite couple of 2 years, Anthony and Ashley. So everyone starts out this episode with kind of a little exercise, because it's cute. I really enjoy these little exercises from week to week. This week for Ashley and Anthony, they have to come up with kind of the negatives of their partner, and they have to shred them. So the main one for Anthony and Ashley was mainly towards Ashley. She's controlling, obviously. Like, this isn't no news. Like, girl, you need to calm down. She needs to, like I said, she just needs to calm down, because it gets a little cringeworthy sometimes, because Anthony's my favorite husband, and I feel bad for him because I feel like, Ashley's a little controlling, but I think I like that we saw kind of like a different side to Ashley this week, because we saw her kind of show some like authentic emotion, obviously, with the counselor this week. Because we know that she kind of has like this body confident. She's not really confident with her body, and especially for people touching her stomach. I mean, being pregnant and having that viewpoint of yourself, that is really hard, because everyone wants to touch your stomach. And for Anthony to be so loving and caring and excited for his baby girl coming, wanting to touch her stomach, and her letting him touch her stomach, that was really sweet. And I thought she was getting a little teary-eyed during their little session. I was like, oh, Ashley, like, this is a new side I have yet to see, really, at least in this particular spin-off. But that was really sweet. I like seeing a more vulnerable side of Ashley. And guys, if you're tuning in live, let me know your thoughts. You guys are my co-hosts this week. Caroline isn't here. I'm missing my girl Felicia. Oh my gosh, Felicia, congrats to you in Louisiana. You're slaying in your new job, but we miss you, girl. But yeah, that was really cute. And I think this kind of is like a lesson for Ashley to know that it's okay to be uncomfortable. You kind of sometimes have to feel that discomfort, especially in a relationship. You have to kind of make sacrifices. I think Anthony is definitely making a lot more sacrifices than Ashley. Granted, Ashley's pregnant, but she also has to loosen up a little bit. Just relax. Anthony's really here to support you. And in my honest opinion, I feel like he's doing a great job. He's like, girl, I'm getting you water when you're hungry. Like, I'm here to serve you. And that's really sweet. But we did come to find out that he is a little afraid of, when the baby does come, and potentially the baby's going to be like the main priority. And he's afraid that possibly that, he might not be happy because they're putting so much effort into the baby. And that's understandable. That's like a relatable thing. This is their first child. So I get where he's coming from, but dude, you're going to be a great father. I can already tell. Okay. You're taking care of your wife. I appreciate that. So it was really cute, and I love this was like the perfect exercise for these two. they went to go to a little dance lesson together. And it was so symbolic of their relationship because I already said this. Ashley's a little controlling. Ooh, that's the news to us. So she likes to take the lead. And literally in this dance lesson, Anthony needed to take the lead. And I thought he did a great job of doing it. I'm like, Ashley, let him do this. Let him take the lead. This is a dance class. And I love that the instructor was like, girl, calm down. Let your man do his thing. So that was like literally the perfect exercise for them. And I believe if I remember correctly, she's 5 months pregnant at this point with their baby girl. You know, definitely a very sweet arc for these two. I feel like overall, this episode was very feel good. There wasn't a whole lot of tension between any of the couples. Okay. Other than Daniel and Bobby. But before we get to Daniel and Bobby, I'm going to need you guys to do something real quick for me. I love you guys. I love talking with you guys in the live chat. Shout out to you. It's Ray Ray. Shout out to Just Me Madison and Meg Blue Shifty Eyes. Ooh. And of course, Coffee Time. Luann, where are you, girl? I miss you. But shout out to you guys. I would love for you guys to subscribe to multiple channels of ours at AfterBuzz TV. I do the animation, and I'm such a nerd. Okay, I love animation. I love anime. We have drama. We have reality competition. We have so many genres, so many different shows. I love a variety of things. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe to multiple channels. If you do, let us know. We'll shout you out on the show. And don't worry about the notifications. Completely optional. Until then, thank you so much for letting us, AfterBuzz TV, be the ESPN of TV talk. So let's get on to Daniel and Bobby, our favorite problematic couple, because they can be, honestly. Let's face it. So their exercise this week was mainly about stop spending pointlessly. Like that was mainly directed towards Danielle. And I'm like, Danielle, girl, you literally need to do this because you already know Bobby is like the breadwinner. You know, there's not going to be any income from you at this point after the baby. So, and you're moving. Like, you're moving. Come on. You don't even have to move. We've been over this last week. So that was, if you guys remember from last week, I was definitely kind of team family at this point. Bobby's family, right? When they were saying, you guys have 3 rooms in this house. Why are you moving to another potential house with 3 rooms? Like, isn't this enough for you? So I always, you know me, I have to give the side eye to Danielle because she's kind of similar to Ashley where she has to be in control. And something special in this episode happened between them two, Daniel and Bobby. They finally got the confirmation of their baby's gender. And, you know, Daniel thought it was going to be a girl, and Bobby thought it was going to be a boy. And lo and behold, y'all, it was a girl. We already knew this if you're super fans. And, you know, I was so pleasantly surprised by Bobby's reaction because he was convinced it was going to be a boy. And I was like so afraid of him kind of negatively reacting to it being a girl. But lo and behold, he was very excited. And I really loved seeing that side of Bobby. He's like, you know, I thought it was a boy, but I'm so freaking excited that I'm gonna have a baby girl. Like, it's confirmed. And I think it's becoming more real to him at this point. So shout out to you, Bobby. I really enjoyed that. And, you know, if you're not getting the boy, you know, and this is another thing, your girl might be a tomboy. You know, I feel like a lot of fathers want that son so they can do sports, do kind of like those manly things, and that's totally fine. I get it. But just because you're having a girl doesn't mean she's going to be girly. She might be a tomboy. And just because you're getting a boy doesn't mean he's going to be necessarily like, you know, overly masculine. You never know with your gender. Just love your kid, love the gender, just be excited for you being a parent. You never know. Just love your kid unconditionally. And I loved seeing that he was so excited. And I was like, kudos to you, Bobby. You get some brownie points. But unfortunately, where he doesn't get brownie points, they had another exercise. Or was this an exercise? I don't know. But they decided to do this particular I'm lack of a better term, exercise, where they had these three different colored sticky notes, and they either were going to, according to the color, they were either going to keep, donate, or discuss if they couldn't come to a consensus. And so because they're moving, Danielle kind of took the reins of figuring out what they're going to do with some of their furniture. And so I felt really bad for Bobby because he was kind of quiet in this moment. And I was like, oh man, I've seen so much growth from Bobby already in this episode. But Danielle's, she's taking charge. She's saying what's staying, what's going, what's discussing. And it's okay to like discuss, but I also wish Bobby kind of stepped it up a little bit more in this exercise, because if you don't want to get rid of something, it's at least say that maybe we can discuss it later. Don't be so, I understand he wants to make Danielle happy, but still you can't, put your happiness to the side just because Danielle wants things her way. She also needs to make sacrifices as well. And, they really need to like take note of Ashley and Anthony's progress, because they're sacrificing as well. And I feel like this couple, Daniel and Bobby, need to also sacrifice. And again, kudos to Bobby, because I felt he kind of sacrificed as well a little bit with the gender reveal. He was like, I'm not having a boy, but I'm having a girl. And so I definitely thought Bobby made a lot more progress than Danielle in this week. But hopefully, I'm praying, y'all, that Danielle makes some dang progress, okay? Because that would be much appreciated. Sorry, y'all. I currently just lost signal with the chat. I'm going to try to pull you up again. Okay, there you guys are. All right, shout out to you guys. Just me, Madison. She's like, I can't figure that couple out. Are you talking about Danielle and Bobby? Because I can't really figure them out as well. Oh, yes, it's Ray Ray. Bobby needs to speak up before they go bankrupt. I completely agree with you. It's Ray Ray. That is so important. Like, at the end of the day, Danielle, hello, you're moving. Come on. For a special segment, I am going to rate these couples, but before we do that, we have to get to our third and final couple, and that's Shawniece and Jeffy. And they were definitely the meat and potatoes of this episode, because Shawniece is pregnant AF, is what I like to call her. She's ready to pop. I was so excited this episode because I felt like this was the episode where the baby is gonna come. And I was like, come on, finally, because you can just tell she's so uncomfortable. She's so ready to get this baby out and just breathing, and just she's ready to love this dang baby. And so is Jeffy. So I was a little disappointed this episode where it was basically left on a cliffhanger. But before that, they kind of need to learn to work during their exercise. They come to a consensus that they need to work on communication. And I completely agree with that, especially on the emotional side of their communication. I don't see a whole lot of emotion from those two. And that's just very sad. I think okay, well, I see more emotion from those two than Danielle and Bobby, but I definitely do agree that they need more communication, especially with Jeffy's past about, fooling around with other women when they were still married. So they just need to be upfront with each other and don't be afraid to speak their mind. And they did get into a little argument, which I was like, oh my God, this argument is so pointless. And I felt bad for Shawniece because I think it was over the jar. And if I remember correctly, their jar was basically, if they screw up with any of their negatives in their relationship, they have to put $1 in the jar. So if they're not exercising, if they eat fast food, if Shawniece is driving badly, then they need to put $1 in the jar. And I'm thinking, okay, that's reasonable. But what I always wonder with these jars in family, like, what do you guys do with the total amount? Do you save it for the year? I'm always just curious. I don't know if you guys have ever done a jar. I don't know. It's very interesting. So they fight over it over a stupid reason, because Shawniece wouldn't write down the negatives on the jar, if I remember correctly. And Jeffy was just getting he's like, why are you shutting down? Why can't you just write it down? I'm like, oh man, you really trying to come after your pregnant wife who's like ready to pop at this moment? Don't do it. Don't do it. So I was definitely cringing at this point. But, oh man, I think that overall they had a good journey in this episode. We see more of Shawniece's relationship with her mom, which I think is such a cute relationship. They're both very close in age. Her mom had her when she was very young, and it's like that's literally her best friend, and that's such a special dynamic. That's a special relationship. Not only do you have like a mother in your life, but that your mother is like your best friend, and I think that's so special. Also, I didn't know this, but Shawniece, 8 months pregnant, still working. Did anyone else catch that? Did anyone else like jaw drop at that moment when she said, "Oh, I just got back from work"? Excuse me, doesn't she get maternity leave? Where does she work? I don't remember where she works, but that was like mind-blowing to me. I felt so bad for her. This is why I want the baby to come out already. Hey, Coffee. Oh, Luann. There you are, Luann. Luann is like a diehard chat person. Is that it? Fan? That's what I meant. Shout out to you, Luann. We missed you, but shout out to everyone in the chat. You got to let us know what you thought of this episode. Just me, Madison. My mom says this. My mom and I used to bet on Dancing with the Stars, etc., and then we'd go out and do something nice with the money. Oh my God, that's so cute. See, these relationships are so freaking cute. I feel like when your family becomes your friends, that is so wonderful. You know, that's like the goal for all families, when your family becomes your friend. But anyways, going back to Shawniece and Jeffy, I'm still so shocked that she's still working at 8 months pregnant. Like, who does that? That's insane. So I love also, this is a little off topic, but I love that we see kind of like their little vlogs throughout the episode of each and every single couple. They kind of have like their little like face front camera vlog, because I feel like that's just so authentic, seeing them not being like edited. That's just them really just saying how they're feeling in that moment. I think that's a very good thing that the show is doing, because you can't really edit they remind me of so much of like Snapchat stories of just them saying how they're feeling in this moment. I felt so bad for Shawniece though when she was feeling like she was going to give birth. I wasn't sure if she was in labor. You know, that was a little pregnancy scare. But we come to find out that she just had like urine. The pain was just urine. I think that was like trapped in her bladder, because her baby was like weighing down on her bladder, and it was like hurting her. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. This is why I want this baby to be born already. But lo and behold, one night, fast forward, Shawniece is just screaming. She wakes up at 1 a.m. She wakes up Jeffy. The good thing about Jeffy in this episode is that, or just in general, is that he's so calm. You know, he doesn't freak out. Like, I think that's so commendable in like a partner who just doesn't like you, because this is their first child. You know, obviously it makes sense that Shawniece is freaking out. Hello, she's going into labor. But it's nice to see Jeffy not freaking out. He's not going through like an anxiety attack. And mind you, again, this is his first child being born right in front of him. So he's like, you know, okay, let's go straight to the doctors. And that's what they're doing. He's driving. Shawniece is just going through the motions. I'm feeling so bad for her. And her seatbelt wasn't on, y'all. That was insane. I'm like, Jeffy, you put a seatbelt on her. Granted that you probably don't want anything weighing her down, but whew, this was intense. Unfortunately, the episode does kind of come to an end at this point, so we don't get like the last shot we see is her like in the stirrups, basically pushing, and that's it. And I was like, dang, I want to see more. I want this baby to come out already. I want to know the name. And I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until next week. Oh, dang it. Well, you know, guys, before we get to predictions and what's gonna happen, we have to go to our special segment, which is, we gotta rate the couples. 1 out of 5 stars, or maybe hearts. 1 out of 5 hearts. Okay, so you guys Yeah, there you are. So you guys have to do this with me as well. I want to know your ratings. I'm very interested, and maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. So let's get right to it. So going back to Anthony and Ashley, I would have to say, I'm going to have to give them a 5 out of 5. I know, right? I know you guys might be a little shocked, but I'm going to tell you why. Anthony is just so supportive. He really didn't rub me the wrong way in this episode. We saw in the exercise, he was like, girl, you're stubborn. Let me take lead. We saw him in both exercise really stepping it up. And we also saw Ashley. I know Ashley was getting a little too like, oh, let me lead. But, she I feel like we saw genuine emotion from her about feeling vulnerable. I loved seeing that crack in her. That was very important. And I would say she let Anthony take charge in this episode. So giving them my first 5 out of 5 this season. Congrats, you guys. You guys were really good in this episode. So moving on to Daniel and Bobby. Okay. I mean, like I said, this was a feel-good episode for the most part. They didn't really have like too much of a backtrack. I feel like they just didn't have progress other than Bobby being excited about his girl coming. So I think I'm just going to be kind of neutral with them this week and give them a 3 out of 5. That's fair, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, okay. Just Me Madison says a 4 for Ashley and Anthony. Okay, that's good. Definitely. I agree. That's good. You're kind of agreeing with me at that they did good this week overall. But I want to know how you guys... Oh, you also agreed. Just Me Madison said 3 for Daniel and Bobby. See, because this episode didn't have a whole lot of tension. So that's why I was like, I feel like everyone was very commendable in this episode for the most part. And now it's Ray says 2 hearts for Daniel and Bobby, which is cool. That's okay because Danielle crazy, I think what it is, I do want to see a different side to Danielle and also a different side to Bobby as well. They're very lacking in the emotional response department, I would say. I don't know. It's just me. What do you guys think? Moving on to Shawniece and Jeffy. Not a whole lot of tension other than their quick little argument in the beginning of the episode. But I think I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. Because Jeffy, like I said, I loved seeing him step it up to the point of not being emotionally affected by his baby girl coming, possibly at both times, because there was the pregnancy scare when she had the urine scare, I should say. And he was calm. He's always calm, and that's what I do respect about him. So I'm going to give him a 4. And, what do you guys think? What do you guys think for Jeffy and Shawniece? Oh my gosh, Just Me Madison gave them a 1. Ooh, you were taking no prisoners today. Luann. Okay, she says they get no hearts for Shawniece and Jeffy. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Y'all ain't taking prisoners tonight. It's totally fine. But before we get to predictions, because we can continue there, we have to get to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Yes. Okay, guys. For all you Married at First Sight, sorry. I need a drink, y'all. Hold up. This is just water, but for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna need another drink, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, for news and gossip this week, we have a very special announcement. If you guys don't know this, the season 8 of Married at First Sight has just been announced for the cast. So the cast is revealed. If you guys are watching live, here's all the pictures of them. If you want to get to know them, check out E! Online. We have the full bios, their names, everything you need to know about these guys. I'm so excited for this new season. There's always just new drama. I live for the drama, but I also live for the growth of these couples, because this is Married at First Sight. Not everyone does this. This is a huge risk that these couples go through. But if you're excited for this, you don't have to wait that long because season 8 is right around the corner. January 1st. Yes, you heard it. January 1st, New Year's Day, 2019. You can watch it on Lifetime, and it's going to be 4 new couples. Oh my gosh. I'm so ready for this. I hope you guys are ready for this too. You know, go online, read their bios, check it out. Let me know what you guys think of these couples. Do you think they're doomed to fail? Do you think they're going to be successful? Let me know, because I don't even know what to think at this point, but I just know I'm excited for this new season. I always love seeing the new couples and how these new dynamics are going to be formed. So we have to wrap up soon. You know, everyone's ready to go on their Thanksgiving break and see their fams and whatnot. So why don't we move into quick little predictions for next week?
Your AfterBuzz
Here we go.
TV predictions.
All right. Okay. For Anthony and Ashley. Ooh, okay. Honestly, I don't see anything bad for them. They've been together for 2 years. I'm not seeing any real big obstacles for them. I think they, a lot like Shawniece and Jeffy, have to work on their communication. But they're definitely my favorite couple of this particular spinoff. So I think they're going to go through, they might go through like a teeny bit of a rough patch, just because Ashley is just so controlling, and I want to see them more involved in more exercise where Anthony is able to step it up and take the lead, just like their dance this week. For Danielle and Bobby, I would say this isn't what I think is going to happen, but what I want for them to happen. I want them to just have a normal, full-on argument like normal couples do. Friends argue, family members argue openly, verbally, orally. Like, it's okay to have disagreements. It's healthy. You can't live your life letting your significant other take advantage of your happiness, take advantage of the situation. It's okay to have those disagreements. And I really want to see Bobby step it up. And I want to see Danielle being like, okay, you feel that way? It's time for me to make a sacrifice. I don't know. What do you guys think? I would love for that to happen. Hopefully my theory does come true. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? I see Luann. I agree with you. They're frustrating. Coffee time. Ooh. Oh my God. Shout out to you, Coffee Time. You make a valuable point. Okay. Coffee Time said this in the chat. Will there be an all LGBTQ season? That would be amazing. I think we need a lot more representation. I love seeing the diversity in these couples in terms of race and ethnicity, but I would love to see a same-sex marriage as well. It doesn't have to be like an all season dedicated to LGBTQ couples, but I'd love to see at least like one couple that has to go through that, because that's a whole nother dynamic that I don't think has been explored yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I love that comment, Coffee Time. Going on to predictions for Shawniece and Jeffy. Okay, I don't think they're out of the woods yet. And I definitely agree with the fact that we've talked previously that just because you guys are having this baby, it doesn't mean it's going to necessarily save the marriage. What's going to save the marriage is your particular relationship as husband and wife. That's something they really need to work on. And I think that's going to be very difficult because, you know, they're still not on the same page, and you're going to take care of your new baby girl, which I hope that delivery was successful. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that was a successful delivery with the baby, because it was, I think, a month early date that she gave birth to. So that's what I was like so scared about that. But I think they definitely still have some issues to work out, and I don't know about that. I just don't know. I really hope that they succeed as a couple, because they just had their baby. And, you know, I want Jeffy to be a little bit more emotional as well. But what do you guys think of the chat? Let me take a look at you. Oh, all right. Just Me Madison did say we only see a small Snapchat of these relationships. Bobby and Daniel might fight like cats and dogs, which is very true. They very could well be putting on for the cameras to save face. So that's something that, you know, cameras do change a lot when you're forced in front of, you know, an audience potential audience of like, this is national television, right? So you might be putting on a facade, and it'd be nice to see that facade being broken for once. But I digress. Continue the conversation with me because Caroline couldn't be here. Obviously, Felicia isn't here. She's moving on to bigger and better things. I miss you, girl. But we here at AfterBuzz love you. Keep the discussion going in the comments. DM us, tweet us, everything. If I missed anything, please let me know because I'm sure I did because I'm solo dolo tonight, but it's okay. I really enjoy doing this show with you guys. It's so much fun, so juicy. All the tea has been spilt for now. But until next week, guys, it's gonna be good. So until then, I'm Ollie Drennan. You can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. I just did a spotlight on. This was basically my first real spotlight on at AfterBuzz TV with legendary RuPaul's Drag Race alumni Laganja Estranja. If you want to check that out, go at AfterBuzzTV.com. You can check it out there. It was so much fun. Also, check me out on the Popcorn Talk Network for horror movie news. We are on hiatus, but we just did our 2018 review of all our favorites and all our least favorite horror movies and our favorite guests this year of doing the show. And also, I mentioned this earlier, I do anime after show on AfterBuzz TV with some awesome hosts, and it's a lot of fun. We're doing Soul Eater this season, and it's one of my favorite animes. But until then, you guys, happy holidays. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.